everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Zelda Fissett and today I'm going to look at 2023 TikTok makeup hacks. Now I've done this twice before. Once I ended up with a very sexy but neutral type of look, and the other time I ended up with something very out there and colorful. But 2023 didn't really have a lot of makeup hacks. I think the makeup community is in a strange kind of transition phase right now, so there's nothing that's standing out. But I ended up finding a handful of hacks to try today in anyways. And the first one is using Vaseline as your primer. Now Vaseline is just petroleum jelly, and I got this cute tiny little container to use today. And I'm gonna scoop out a really small amount and put it on my face. Now for those of you who don't know, you get two types of primers. You get oil-based primers and water-based primers, and you also get oil-based and water-based foundations. And typically you want the same type of things to be together. So if you have a water-based foundation, a water-based primer is going to work best for you. And if you have an oil-based foundation, an oil-based primer is going to work best for you. And I believe the idea behind this hack was, number one, people did slugging. That was a really big thing where they would just glob the Vaseline on their faces to hydrate themselves during the night. And then people who are struggling with oil-based foundations and their primer just not gripping it, then found that this worked as a great cheap alternative to having to go buy a specific type of primer. That is just my theory as to how we got here, but it does feel nice. I feel hydrated and I look all nice and shiny. I don't know if this natural shimmer is going to come through the foundation, but we'll find that out together. For the next one, I'm going to take my ring off because I want to keep it clean as much as possible. But I'm going to drip the foundation onto my hands and blend it in using my fingers. People really seem to like the idea of using their hands to do their makeup. You'll see that a bit today. Every now and then people start using their hands to do their foundation again, and then we swing back to loving brushes and then back to using our hands. Both work, both get the foundation on your face and both get blended. Just depends on how messy you plan on getting all of your makeup. I have to say it is a lot of fun, and it's a lot easier to blend the foundation into your hairline without getting those foundation splotches on your hairline that I get. I hate when I get foundation in my hair, but it's a bit weird because I feel because I'm using my hands, I'm rubbing in a cream, but I'm not rubbing in the foundation. It's still gonna sit on my face, so that's very weird. But it does work and I'm looking nice and glowy. The other thing is I'm bringing the foundation up pretty close to my under eyes, but not putting it on my under eyes. Reason being, I want to keep the layer I put here as thin as possible. That way it's less likely to crease. So I'm not piling on the foundation there and then going in with the concealer again because that's just thicker. So when I do go in with the concealer later, there will just be one thin layer of product on the thin skin here and it will be less likely to crease. Speaking of concealer, let's apply some next. I've been seeing people apply the concealer just under their eye. People aren't doing the triangle anymore that we used to do. I'm a big fan of mapping out the concealer everywhere I plan on taking it. So I like drawing out the areas where I want to bring my face forward, which includes here, and then I like connecting it here. But the concealer hack I've been seeing this year has been around for a while. It's where you just let your concealer sit for a little bit, roughly about 30 seconds or so before you actually blend it out. What I'm doing is I'm fanning my face, and it feels cold where the concealer is, and that cold feeling is going away. And when that is away, I know it's ready for me to go in and blend it because it's dried down a little bit and I can blend it out with my fingers. Now the logic behind this is the concealer kind of thickens up a bit as all the volatiles evaporate off of it. So when you then do go and blend out the concealer, you don't just blend away all the pigment. The pigment is kind of a little bit more stuck where you applied it, so you get higher coverage from it. If you leave the concealer too long to dry and then go in to blend it, I found that it lifts your foundation underneath, and then you can kind of see a patch with less coverage in the shape of where the concealer was when you first applied it. And for that reason, I don't apply the concealer and then leave it while doing my brows or something else because I don't want that to happen. Instead, I blend the concealer in the places I don't want such high coverage, such as my chin and here. And by the time I'm done with that, my under eyes will be good to go. Now I'm just taking what's left on my fingers onto my eyelids, even though my long nails are saying no to these inner corners where I don't want any wrinkles. We'll be back to set this later. For now, I'm going to move on to cream contour. This will work with any contour. I think the reason we do it more with cream contour is for the effect of it because you can see where it is, but this is where you contour your cheekbones. Now usually you just apply the color here and you blend it up, but today we're going to take it and turn it back down. So you're kind of drawing out the shape of your jaw, and what happens is because you have the dark color here, this part looks lighter, and as a result your cheekbone stands out more and looks more prominent without you having to go in and brighten up this area. Now I wouldn't say this is for everyone because it does give you a bit of a blockier looking face. It makes your jawline more prominent, which is typically a more masculine feature. I remember back in the day this shape of contour was recommended if you felt like you had chubby cheeks because it would slim down your cheeks a bit. But I'm just applying the contour everywhere else I would usually apply it, so I can blend it all in at once. Remember to connect it to your eye socket and not your eyebrows. The other contouring trick that I've seen around is creating a button nose with your contour, and just like everything else, the kind of like nose shape that's popular changes, so the type of nose contour people recommend changes based on that. Now I don't know what makes a button nose a button nose. If it is having a wide tip of your nose, I already have a pretty wide tip of my nose. I quite like the shape of my nose, so I don't contour it that much really. The main reason I do contour my nose is if you have all the contour colors on the side of your face, I also want those tones in the middle of my face, otherwise it looks all off balance. You know, I want to tie the whole thing together. But the trick I've been seeing online to have a button nose is to take your nose and push it up. And like right here where your nose creates like a little bit of a fold, right there is where you're going to apply the contour color. And contouring it like that will apparently give you the perfect button nose. Oddly enough, I haven't seen anything about people blending out their contour with their fingers, but I'm already hands in today, so I might just as well continue like this. So I just keep tapping at where I applied the color until I feel it has blended out enough, and then I move on to the next spot. This isn't a TikTok hack, but I just like contouring the sides of my temples here. I feel like it complements my face shape and it makes my like eyeshadow look more fierce. Now as usual, I'm tapping and then lifting my fingers in an upwards direction because you want to blend the contour out in an upwards direction to lift your cheekbones. I'm so tempted to grab my beauty blender to make sure this line disappears because I feel like I can see it on camera, but in my mirror I can't really see it. But I'll persevere and I will do it with my fingers. For the nose contour, I don't tap, I rub, but I rub gently so I don't rub the foundation off. So here at the tip, I'm rubbing it in, and then for the sides, you rub the color to warm it up and then you bring it in. And there we're blending in the little button nose section. So finally, we get to set. Oh no, we don't get to set everything. Next is blush. I always forget to do the blush before I set my face, and then I have like powder everywhere, and then I'm like, oh, but today I remembered, so we can do our 2 blush hacks. So for the first one, you're going to need your concealer and the lipstick you're planning on wearing. And you're going to mix those two to get your perfect blush color. So I'm going to put a decent amount of concealer on my hand and a decent smear of this lipstick because I don't want to run out. Now my biggest problem with this hack is you're assuming I know what lipstick I'm planning on wearing. And also you can just apply the lipstick straight to your cheeks and use it as a blush. I don't know why you need to blend it with a concealer. As far as I understand, the idea is that you have the same tones you have in your lipstick and the same tones you have in your foundation in the blush, and because the 2 colors are married there, it brings together the other colors on your face and makes everything look more cohesive. You know, it's the same vibe as having a transition color that helps everything look connected. The second hack we have is W blush, and that is where instead of applying the blush like on the apples of your cheeks, you're gonna apply it here and then up and connect it over the bridge of your nose. Now I can see how this hack came to be. First of all, people started getting really into putting the blush on the bridge of their nose to look a little bit more youthful, a little bit more sun-kissed. People also started putting their blush more up here because they feel it like lifts their face. And thirdly, people started realizing that just having concealer under your eyes makes you look a little bit washed out. And if you bring another color in, be it your blush or your contour, it makes it look like you have less bags under your eyes, which is hard to believe right now because right now you're just seeing the bags I have under my eyes. By having different colors there, you don't really see the line that much. It looks more like it's a color change than an actual bag. I guess the one benefit to mixing the concealer with the lipstick is it was practically already blended when I applied it to my face. I don't really have to work to blend this. And for this next hack, you're going to need a powder puff. I use this one that I just got with my setting powder, but people really like using those triangle ones you see all over the internet. But for this, you have to load your powder puff up on some powder and then using a clean back of your hand, rub it in. Like you're trying to squish that powder and work it into the fluff of your powder puff. And now with that powder puff, you're gonna go in and you're gonna press and you're gonna set everything. And look at how much smoother this side looks than this side. Now in general, powdering your face will get rid of definition and make it look more smoother because if something is not shiny, it doesn't catch the light. And if it doesn't catch the light, you don't see that structure that easily. The only big advantage I see to rubbing the powder into the sponge first is to make sure you apply it uniformly. So you don't have patches where you applied more powder, making you look patchy overall. Now we don't have any tips or tricks for lips or brows or a highlighter. So I'm quickly going to get all of those done. Like so. It looks a bit much without the eyeshadow, but we're getting there, I promise. Eyeshadow has been incredibly neutral, so I'm gonna go in with a neutral shade and a slanted brush. And I'm gonna create a very simple eyeshadow shape by just taking it out here from the outer corner, the direction I'd like my wing to go. And once I got a bit of a point going there, turning and dragging it into my crease and letting it taper out. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side and also put the tiniest bit on my lower lash line. Now I'm just adding a bit of a darker color and I'm gonna blend that out as well. Kind of just plopping it on first so you can kind of see where I put it. And now I'm gonna use a fluffy blending brush to just blend until it all looks nice and smooth. I'm adding a bit of the darker color to the outer corner of my eye because with my eye shape I just need that little bit there, otherwise it makes my eyes look super round and that's not the idea with this look. It's supposed to be lifting and elongating. Having a little bit of a subtle shimmer has also been in, so I'm going to take this neutral tone shimmer here and I'm going to very lightly drag it on my lid. I'm not adding a lot and I'm blending it out super far. But what I do think should be shiny are the inner corners, so I will be applying my highlighter there and dragging it up a bit to follow that contour. Now for this last hack, I'm a little scared. It's a quick and easy way to do a little bit of a wing eyeliner. I'm not afraid of doing eyeliner, it just depends on if I have time, and if I don't have time, I can always do an eyeshadow wing. But if that's not good enough for you, you can use your eyeliner pencil and your finger and create an eyeliner smudge. So for this, I'm gonna place my finger here and just drag it like that, but I'm trying to think what part of my finger should I put the dot on. I think I'm gonna put it here. That's where I'm like feeling it. And I'm gonna make sure I have a decent amount of product on there. So I'm now gonna take this, hope that I line it up with the corner of my eye, press down and just swipe. Do the same thing on the other side, place my finger and this time push it the other direction. I have no idea where I'm like placing the color. So I place it like lower on this side than this side. But I'm trying my best and I'm just getting a fat smear. I'm not getting that cute little point thing people are talking about. So I'm just going to go in with a tried and trusted eyeliner brush and I'm going to drag this color in the direction I want it to go. Because with this I can create a bit of a point. The pigment coming from my eyeliner pencil also just isn't enough for this. So this is the only hack I have to say is a bust. Now I'm going to use the magic eraser, which is my beauty blender, to just clean up what we did there at first. Doing your inner corner is still very much in, but also very much up to you. It's more of a whatever suits your face type landscape out there. And that's why I think everything is so neutral. People are just doing simplistic things with small little tips and tricks that suit their specific face type to accentuate what they have without it being too much effort. However, there is a desire for some creativity coming back in, doing some things that are more loud and proud, and that's why we've seen this trend of having that like straight bar of color. I'm considering doing that again because it's lots of fun doing something like that, even though I did something kind of similar for Halloween when I did that witch look. And then the one thing that'll probably never go away is turning anything you can see into a beauty spot. So I'm gonna make my beauty spot a beauty spot again. Just using my eyebrow pomade and the brush that already has it on. And then where I missed some mascara on my face, because why clean it if you can make it a feature? It looks so weird having this one here because these three are actual beauty spots I have on my face. I'm not used to seeing this one. So if I take it away, that looks normal. But with it there, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so much. But then this is the final result for TikTok makeup tips and tricks. It's very different than we've had in previous years, and it's a very interesting way to see what is going on in the makeup world. I enjoyed making this video, so I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed doing this. Let me know what other TikTok makeup tips and tricks you know about, because I actually had a hard time finding things. A lot of them we've heard of before, so nothing was really standing out. But then, like I said, this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next time, after I've wiped down and cleaned all my makeup. Bye bye!
Love you.
I love you too!
Love you.
I love you too!